I am on my way to New Orleans for a conference. I imagine that a majority of my time is going to be occupied by the conference, but I'm going to try and use whatever downtime I have to capture a little bit of the city, and I will try to share that with you.
Good doggy.
Getting ready to start the conference, starting off with breakfast in the lobby of the hotel, and it's not a bad spread.
Big girls don't cry. Big girls don't come They don't cry. Who said they don't cry?
To awaken to your potential to make a difference.
good. Yeah, that was Hurricane Katrina. So a lot of people evacuated, but some stayed behind. And among those who stayed were Zach Bowen and Addie Hall. Zach and Addie were living on Rampart Street at the time, and believe it or not, they fell in love during Hurricane Katrina. But then a year went by, now everything's falling apart. Everybody sees Zach and Addie fighting and arguing all the time. And one day, Zach cheated on Addie. Addie had enough. She went to the landlord and said, I'm kicking Zach out. I want his name off the lease. But the landlord's like, not so fast. Y'all go home. Y'all sort that mess out yourselves. And that was the last interaction anyone ever had with Addie alive again. Almost 2 weeks went by before Zach came here, and he jumped off the roof. And I'm going to show you where he landed around the corner. The police recovered Zach's body, and they found a note in his pocket. His note basically read, this is not an accident. I had to take my life to pay for a life I took. You know he did it. So the police took this note to Rampart Street to discover, yes, Zach had murdered Addie, and he had chopped her up, and he had been cooking her to get rid of the evidence.
Oh my
So in
God.
October 2006, when it looks like most of you are alive, they found Addie's head and torso in the refrigerator, and her arms and legs were in the oven. If it helps, the cannibalism was disproven. There is no spice on the lips. Okay, welcome to Jackson Square. It's named after Andrew Jackson. He's the guy on the 20. Oh, these are not horses, by the way. These are mules. They are not horses. So it's a male donkey and a female horse that breeds to produce it. There you go. There's a secret vampire bar here. And once you're in, you might find members of the New Orleans Vampire Association. That's a group of men and women in this city that are vampires. And some of them, not a lot, just a handful, but some of them drink human blood. Now those are called sanguine vampires. They get a willing human donor, everyone's clean and tested and everything. And they'll either like maybe prick a finger, but sometimes cut back here on the shoulder blade, and they'll drink the blood like off the person. Saying if they don't drink human blood after a certain amount of time, all their energy just begins to drain away. If you want to put a face on things, maybe consider Kathy Bates. She plays Delphine Lalaurie in American Horror Story Coven. That's a real woman, born in 1787. Her first two husbands died along the way, but third time's a charm. Delphine married Dr. Lalaurie, and everybody moved into the house here in 1831. And Delphine got a name for herself while she was in town. At least 20 enslaved Africans died under her ownership, 12 here at the house. But Delphine had always had the money and the power and the influence. She always got away with everything.
We are so appreciative of you coming today. This is such an important topic, and we all know that mental health is so hard to talk about in general, but it's even harder to talk about in the workplace.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here. It has been a real joy working with SHRM and with Johnny. Actually, going to the SHRM event in New York in October was my first in-person event, and this is my first big in-person event. Woo! Health and mental health are what happens every day in your life. Are you sleeping? What are you eating? Are you moving? What thoughts are you holding in your head? Because, you know, stress is unavoidable. Is there anybody here who is having a stress-free life? I would love to meet you afterwards.
I'm sneaking out on the lunch break to head to Cafe du Monde to get some beignets.
inside that place, campanada.